Okay, so I wanted to talk about a few things. Some stuff that's happening, and touching up on a few things on a previous video. So, when it comes to everything happening right now, especially with Israel, and the fact that they just paraded the bodies of children, that's sparking outrage and rage amongst Israel and the people. Now, they're not wanting to give up people. They're not wanting to give up those hostages. And that's just kind of the stubbornness of Hamas and Gaza and the Palestinians and all that. You know, they're stubborn about it because they want to have the leverage over Israel. And things that are happening here in America, especially with Doge finding all of those billions of dollars. Now, I get a feeling that there's going to be some things happening at the same time, or at least very, very, very close together. So, with people still think that we're in Revelation. We're not in Revelation yet. Probably the closest thing that we're at is Revelation 3. We're in the Church of Laodicea. When they're talking about the Church of Laodicea, that's about as close as we are. But when it comes to anything happening with the Antichrist, we're out of here before the Antichrist comes around. But here's the thing. I watched a video and they mentioned how in Ezekiel 38 and 39, when it talks about the war of Gog and Magog, um, that in there, and you can read it, it talks about how Israel is at peace. Israel doesn't have an army. Israel is just coming in a time of peace. They don't even have borders. They don't have walls. They don't have anything. They're in a time of peace, Israel. And that's when Gog and Magog strike. So Israel has to be in a time where they don't believe that they even need to worry about enemies anymore. That, I believe, with everything that I've read, is shortly on the time after the Antichrist signs the peace treaty, because there's going to be a World War III. That's the red horse. That's war, and people would want to think that the Antichrist breaks the treaty. Well, he does. He breaks the treaty midway through, but it doesn't stop anybody else from attacking. And if you think about Ezekiel 30 and 39, God protects Israel in biblical fashion. But at the same time, people forget this, the two witnesses will be there already as well. Now, can God have can God protect Israel along with having his two witnesses there at the same time to protect Israel and whatever's going on? Absolutely. God can put all the defenses that he wants on Israel. It's his. So when it comes to that, and at first I thought, what if it's talking about like the millennial kingdom, like after that? Because it does say in Revelation that Gog and Magog will attack again. They'll rise up an army, but it doesn't say that they'll attack. I think it's does it say it attacks Israel? But they have an army amassed, and God destroys them with the breath of His mouth. So when it comes to what we're seeing here, I think a few things could be happening at the same time. One, with Doge finding all these many millions of dollars, billions of dollars, I should say, and trillions of dollars that have just gone to whatever. They're wanting to give people back stimulus to kind of make things normal. Now, as it says in the Bible, people will be marrying, they'll be giving into marriage, they'll be doing everyday normal things in life. Things will be normal ish, or like seeming to be normal. So, what if they're like, hey, we're going to be bringing out these stimulus checks now? We got like one more week before the end of February, but they're like, hey, stimulus checks, there you go. You know, enjoy some of this. But us as the church won't get to enjoy that because we get raptured up. People will enjoy the money, but we get raptured up. Now, with the fact that um, Hamas is not willing to give up the hostages, and the hostages that they are giving up are um, uh, deceased, like, I don't doubt that, like I said before, the rapture will rapture up everybody who, has turned to God and accepted Christ into the heart. But they will be like, hey, where's our hostages? Like, the hostages are gone. The rest of them. They're going to be blaming Israel. Well, Israel's like, well, what did you do with the hostages? What did you do with all of these other people that we know? Because there are Messianic Jews over there, and they'll be raptured up. But Israel will think you just took more people, and that starts more of this war. It also could be the fact that, like, right now, with the fact that Israel is just ticked off, it could also start another war here. I don't know if I could say war, but it could start more battles, more fighting back and forth. But that could also usher in the fact that we just get taken out as well, and it brings the Antichrist into, oh, excuse me, brings the Antichrist onto the scene, to quell the fighting, to just say, hey, you know what, we are going to fix this. You do this, you do this. What do you want to do this? Okay, great, we're going to have you do that, but what do you want? Like, people don't realize that the Antichrist is all about making sure everybody's happy, but he can do it in such a way that it's not about threats, it's about rewards. This is why Trump is not the Antichrist. It's about rewards. Hey, what is it that you want? Okay, great. We're going to make that happen. What is it that you want? Okay, great. We're going to make that happen. If you want that, you have to give this up for that. That way, everybody can be happy. Everybody can be at peace. That's what people don't realize, is that the Antichrist will be all about peace, but he's going to bring about great destruction on the earth because of it. And it's all going to be under this illusion of peace. That's why people will think that he is the Messiah. The Jews will think that he is the Messiah. The Muslims will think that he is the Muhammad. Everybody will think that he is the coming Messiah, which he's not. Christ is the Messiah. Jesus Christ is the Messiah. And when it comes to people at that time, um, people already, they're making Trump to be out this king. Um, but Trump is only paving the way to almost make it so much easier for the Antichrist to manipulate the masses. Unfortunately, Trump will also be one of those that are manipulated. Now, they always talk about how the Antichrist will be able to deceive many, um, including, and it says including the elect. I don't think the elect refers to as the Christians during that time, but people have to realize too that by the time the Antichrist comes on the scene, there's going to be very, very, very few Christians, um, because it's going to have to kind of restart. No Christians are going to be on the earth the moment the rapture happens. Everybody is going to be atheist, agnostic, or other religions and beliefs. And it's going to be a slow pickup for people to realize, for those who realized, oh, their friend was wrong or their friend was right. They were wrong about the rapture. They have to get right with God. So when it's talking about the elect, um, the new rise of Christianity in the 7 year tribulation, or in the last 7.5, however many years, I do believe that there's about like a 6 month uh, transition period between when the Antichrist comes on the scene to when he signs the peace treaty, as I've mentioned before. So about 7.5 years, I would imagine. Um, but when it comes to the elect, the Christians by that point, as they're kind of coming into what's going on, they may be very, very cautious. Like, is this guy the Antichrist? Is he? What's going on? And those who are actually studying the Bible, studying the Word, getting into what the prophecies are, and they read Daniel, they read the prophecies, they read Revelation, they will realize, yes, this guy is. They won't be deceived. So I think the elect that it's talking about is the actual, like, um, governments. Those are the elect. Because governments always think that they have the most power and intelligence to rule everything. Well, when the Antichrist comes about, that's going to change because the Antichrist is going to take over the world. And I just saw a video earlier today about another chip being made that can be easily put into the body. And I'm like, well, you can have a chip in the body, and they already got that nano chip in there that they were talking about. But I think that that's way too large because of the fact that it does, Revelation does say it is a mark. It is an etching. It is a, look at the other languages. I think it's Greek and Arabic or something. There's another language. It says it's an etching. So other languages refer to it actually being a actual physical mark, either on your forehead or right hand. This hand here. Um, and there's probably a reason for it. I haven't looked into the reason why it would be right hand or forehead. Um, Probably predominantly your right hand is predominantly used, and it's easy to kind of scan the forehead for things. But uh, I think it's my second or third video on here that talks about an actual new nano tattoo technology. But yeah, I wanted to talk about those few things real quickly before I go to bed. And knowing that what's going to be happening, we don't know what's going to happen by the end of February. We could be getting into the time of the stimulus checks, or we could be taking out before then. We don't know. Or that could just not happen because of the rapture. We're not exactly sure what's gonna go on. Um, for Christians, it's exciting times. I know it's scary times for anybody else who doesn't know what's going on. But like I've said before, you can accept the free gift of salvation, and what that is admitting that you're a sinner and telling God, I'm a sinner. I need a savior. I need salvation. I don't want to go through the worst time in history that's going to be upon us very soon. And I don't want to have to deal with that because it's going to be bad for Christians. It's going to be bad for everybody out there. If you're a Christian, you're going to be um, hunted during that time when you become a Christian after the rapture. Now, when the rapture happens, we're going to be called up, and we're going to be with Jesus in heaven. We're going to have the wedding supper of the Lamb, where we finally get to be married to Jesus. And when that happens, it's going to be an amazing time. But uh, we don't want to be here. So anybody who's on the fence, look at what's going on. It's definitely right there. So accept the free gift of salvation, and the blood of Jesus is shed for the sins of the world, and that covers past, present, and future sins. That's how powerful that is. Forgiveness of all sins, past, present, and future. And it's very important. That is the most important thing that you can do, so that you don't have to face any of the tribulation. But I better get to bed. I'll probably, depending on what I see more, um, tomorrow, I'll make another video. But yeah, it's very, very exciting times. Whether it's exciting in a good way or a bad way. Good way if you're Christian, bad way if you're not. But I really do hope that everybody that is watching this, I pray that God is with you. If you're struggling financially, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, um, just know that God is with you. Pray to God. He'll give you the peace that passes all understanding, and he'll be there with you. Continue to have faith. Always have faith. I am dealing with a lot of stuff right now and a lot of impatience, but God also knows that we have to be patient as well. Things are going to get better, um, especially with how close we are to the rapture, and that's going to be the most amazing thing. I'm excited for that. So, um, everybody have a good night, and remember, every second, every minute, every hour, every day, we're waiting. All right. Have a good night. See you later.